This world is anxious. This is a very, very anxious world. We live in a time where everybody's stressed, everybody's anxious, everybody's overcome with doubt and uncertainty and fear. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was pooping this morning. I was on the toilet, and normally in the morning I have to poop. And I take this with me. Not my clicker, my Bible. I take my Bible with me. And I read. Normally it takes me like 5 minutes to poop or whatever, so that's probably TMI. But normally I read a little bit and then I'll stop whenever I'm finished or whatever. I'll finish out the part that I was reading or the chapter or whatever. And today, I don't know, I had kind of a headache and I wasn't really feeling it. I was kind of anxious about the stuff I had to do today. I had to cook my food, I had to get my meal stuff ready for today, I had to do the dishes, I had to clean my room. I started cleaning it last night and I started doing it some more this morning or whatever. It's irrelevant, but I was sitting down and I was anxious on the toilet. And I know that like I would have been continuing to be anxious, so I sat down for a second and I was like, I hope the Lord can teach me to be less anxious. And that's when I opened it up. I have my little marker, my little like paper marker or whatever. I'm gonna put this down. Y'all keep seeing this. I'm not talking about this. Put this right. There we go. I have this little like paper marker or whatever. It's like a highlighter tape, and I just like put it on the part where I left off, so I know where I was. But I left it on the cure for anxiety, and last time I wasn't even really paying attention to the message that I was reading last time. So but I sat down and I looked at the title and I was like, The Cure for Anxiety. And I thought about how all of these scientists and all these little nerds, they're coming up with antidepressants and medication and strategies and all these ways that you can like cure your anxiety or you can feel better or fix your mental health. And I have been struggling with some anxiety lately, and I know the world has too. There's a lot of my friends with finals and everything else that are coming up. They're just like, man, I got finals, I got this and this and this, and I got this, and I'm just like, bro. The Cure for Anxiety. It says in Luke 12:22, this is where it starts. This is what I started reading this morning while I was pooping. It says, and this is when the Lord spoke to me too. So sometimes He speaks to me in the shower, when I'm sleeping, and in my morning poop. This is Then he said to his disciples, this is Jesus talking. He said, therefore I tell you, don't worry about your life, what you will eat, or about the body, what you will wear. It says in verse 23, for life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens, they do not sow or reap, they don't have a storeroom or a barn, yet God feeds them. Aren't you worth more than the birds? Can any of you add 1 moment of his lifespan by worrying? If then you're not able to do even a little thing, why worry about the rest? I'm going to say in verse 25, can any of you add a moment of his lifespan by worrying? And he's talking about the ravens. He talks about how you're not going to help them by worrying. And he's implying that you're not going to help yourself by worrying. The point I made earlier is that all these people are trying to come up with solutions to anxiety and depression and all this, and it's right here. The Word of God is the cure to anxiety. This whole book, everything in it is the cure to anxiety, not just this verse. And it took me, I was thinking about this all day before I recorded this video. I was sitting there. I was like, well, it says the cure to anxiety, and it says it in Matthew and Mark, it says it in Luke, and it says it in John. So I was sitting there reading this, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. God is just trying to tell us that we need to tell people that this is the cure to anxiety. if you let God in your life, if you let him work in your heart, if you let him live through you and do the things that help you do the things that you need to do, he's going to change your life. So, and that's just part of it. And then he says, consider how the wildflowers grow. They don't labor or spin thread. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was adorned like one of these. If that's how God clothes the grass, which is in the field today and is thrown in the furnace tomorrow, how much more will he do for you, you of little faith? Don't strive for what you should eat and what you should drink, and don't be anxious. For the Gentile world eagerly seeks all these things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be provided for you. Don't be afraid, little flock, because your Father delights to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give to the poor. Make money bags for yourself that won't grow old, an inexhaustible treasure in heaven, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. He says, for the Gentile world eagerly seeks all these things, and your Father knows that you need them. And then it says in verse 31, but seek his kingdom, and these things will be provided for you. He gives us the answer right there. It's kind of amazing. See, putting your faith in God is one of the best things that you can do. I've just recently started putting tithes into my church, and I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten paid once since I started doing it, so I've only done it once. However, just for that one tithe that I made, and when I go to church tomorrow, I'm probably gonna put some offering money, just some cash I have tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Sunday. I'm excited. I want to go back to church. I love my church. But on Sunday, I'm probably going to put whatever cash I have in the plate as an offering, because the Lord has already started to make changes in my life now that I've done that. He's amazing, and he's cured my anxiety. Oh, my chair's all wobbly. He's cured my anxiety a lot. He's helped me with so many things that I could not have helped myself with on my own. He is truly, truly amazing. And I love him. He's fantastic. He talks about giving up your possessions for treasures in heaven. And that's something I've started to try to do more, is become less attached to materialistic things, to even to people sometimes. I've tried to. There's a sermon that my preacher at my church did once. This was a few months ago, and this was really, really a big deal for me. This was really exciting, and it's Christian Stoicism. He was talking about letting go of your possessions to make possessions for yourself in heaven. What a mighty day that will be. When my Jesus I shall see.